Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. We're here with our Guild Wars 2 Let's play in the Char storyline. We are just about to finish up our time for promotion. In the last video, we were promoted to Legionnaire, so that was very cool, which is a very prestigious honor in the warband. We did this by defeating Steelbane, the old Legionnaire, in hand-to-hand combat. We wound up letting him go. And so now we're going to be given a task to expand our warband by Ridlock Brimstone. And remember, I had talked about very early on how important of a character and how big of a character as for the Char are concerned. Ridlock is. He's really, really important and a really big character. So to be given a task by him is quite an honor. Okay, and also, this is the last of the footage that is going to be pre-recorded. After this, it will go back to live commentaries. I explained the problems in previous videos, and so we'll be back to that soon. Maybe I'll do this, sporadically in the future, but it will only ever be when I want to do it, which is good, and not when I'm sort of stuck with it. I didn't want to cut out, everything and leave you guys out of the story for, 2 levels, which are pretty important. Alright, so here we're given 2 tasks. Either we can go after Fyon the Wraith, who is a stealthy blood legion, which is curious in and of itself, who has lost his warband and is grief-stricken over it. And we're given to chase after him, or Sour Doomsday, a necromancer who's dabbling in Flame Legion magic, and because of it, was exiled from his warband and is now a gladium, which is very interesting. Very, very, very interesting. I accidentally pick Fyon the Wraith. I don't even know what happened, but I accidentally pressed it for whatever reason. Anyway, so we're going after Fyon the Wraith. I think it kind of would have been cool for Sour Doomsday, because hearing about a necromancer Char is not the most common, and then a Flame Legion Char that we actually, someone who knows about the Flame Legion that we actually get to, have a conversation with would have been a pretty interesting opportunity. And I'm kind of disappointed, but Fyon the Wraith is still an interesting storyline, for sure. His warband was killed by a ghost, and so yeah, we get to go after him and help him to live, to have something to live for. Now, I'm just running on the map doing random stuff. Here's a pretty funny thing. So I unlocked this waypoint at Old Duke's estate, went back when we killed Duke Barradin at the very beginning of the story, and I had forgotten that that was a high-level area. Because, I mean, high level is relative, right? So, but I had forgotten that it was much higher than my level. So I go ahead and waypoint in and just get immediately burst kills by a level 10 ooze as a level 4. I was just completely caught off guard, what the heck? I had no idea why at first I was like, what the heck? How did I even unlock it if it was so far along? But now, looking back on it, I realized this was back when we killed Duke Barradin. Oh, and interesting note along Duke Barradin. I never really talked too much about behind him. I just said, oh, he's kind of a significant character. Well, remember in last video how we talked about, was that 2 videos ago? Yeah, sorry, 2 videos ago. We talked about the Searing and everything that took place there. Remember that? And we talked about King Adalburn, right? Well, Duke Barradin is the brother of the king that went before King Adalburn. So there was a king before King Adalburn, and that king is Duke Barradin's brother. The one who comes before King Adalburn is Duke Barradin's brother. And here I was just reading all of the different, how this bartender views the different warbands, etc., etc. I just did a montage because I had to level up twice in order to stay on top of things with the personal story. So I just did like a little montage of different like little points where I'm leveling up, because I thought that would be better than just speed through, you know, and still have to watch it for like, you know, 4 or 5 minutes. I figured a little short montage of different cool things would be better. So yeah, and we also talked. There's so many things we've talked about. We talked about Pyre Fierce Shot, right? We talked about I think I gotta figure her name out. Her name is, I always forget this. Why do I always forget this? Hold on. It's Scorch. What's her name? That led the rebellion against the Char. Kala Scorchrazor is the Char, that the female Char that led the rebellion against the old ways, well, kind of new ways of the Flame Legion. Ultimately succeeded. Tragically, the leader of the Flame Legion at the time was completely dishonored by the fact that his ways were overthrown. As a result, in a duel with Kala Scorchrazor, they were in a duel together. Now, Kala Scorchrazor wins the duel, right? But the Flame Legion commander is so humiliated that he takes a poison dagger and stabs Kala. And in a great, you know, poetic justice or whatever, that just sort of seals the deal, right? That makes that exiles the Flame Legion even more, because everyone sees them as these sort of, you know, dishonorable, you know, people. Anyway, we'll talk after the cinematic.
Fyon the Wraith. Ritlock Brimstone sent me.
Ah, my old friend Ritlock. He must want to ask one last thing from me before I die.
Not quite. He and I both want you to join my warband and leave dying till much, much later. Come with me and start a new life.
New beginnings are for the young. I'm old, and I only have one thing left to do. Slash War Master Kalar's throat.
Unless you can put down a ghost for good, War Master Kalar will just come back again.
My comrades howl for justice from their shallow graves. I'm not leaving here without evening the score.
Then we'll purify this crypt in their honor. If you survive, you join us. If not...
Then I'll come back as a ghost myself and keep killing these Ascalonian devils forever and ever.
Alright, so there we learn. Anyway, right before we talk about this, just to wrap up, it winds up, you know, galvanizing, that's what the word I was looking for, galvanizing the resistance against the Flame Legion even more, and completely exiling them. So, here we meet Fyon the Wraith, a pretty cool guy. Seems to be, you know, the warbands, you know, in the Asura, they have a crew. In Char, they have a warband. They're very, very close. They are, in Char especially, they are your family, right? Your warband is your family. And so to have them all slaughtered, you know, it's very, very emotional, very strong for him. And Fyon the Wraith at all costs wants justice, right? He wants to seek revenge on the ghost, right, of the War Master. And unfortunately, yeah, you can't kill a ghost, but you can make them unable to come back. Their spirit, I believe, this is mostly speculation, I'm not entirely sure, but I believe in the Guild Wars 2 universe, a ghost's spirit, if like you purify, like they were talking about in the cinematic, the land, they sort of stay in limbo, I believe, and they're unable to revive again, because they tend to come back to life, as far as the story's concerned, in, you know, a matter of hours, you know, even maybe minutes, they will be back from the dead. So we're going to purify this land, try and prevent the War Master from ever being able to come back in an attempt to get justice for Fyon's group, Fyon's brothers, his warband. So I sped most of this up because it's just sort of fighting ghosts, and I wasn't sure you guys wanted to see it. Plus, I've kind of been getting a little bit impatient because I want to get back to the live commentaries, because that's where I have the most fun, and I think they're the better of the two. You know, I think there's some things in post-commentary that are better, but I still want to get back to the live commentaries because I think they have a lot more to offer, because you get to witness the reactions, and I'm actually playing through it for the first time as well, because I haven't really played the Char storyline very often, or very much. So this stuff is sort of new to me, but in post-commentary I don't really get to provide my first initial thoughts, because I've already, you know, seen ahead some duration at least. So I'm looking very much so forward to being able to get back to the live commentaries. Alright, so here we are at the final battle with War Master Kalar. Alright, let me see if I can read this. No, I'm sorry, I can't read what he said. But he's okay, so right. One other interesting thing that I was talking about earlier. Fyon the Wraith is sort of a stealthy blood legion, which we really don't see very often, which is, you know, like I had said, it's pretty interesting, pretty curious that you would be a stealthy, cunning sort of blood legion. That's much more up the Ashley Legion's, you know, up their alley. Alright, so we've successfully defeated War Master, and we're now in a cinematic. So talk to you soon.
Maybe now my brothers and sisters can find rest in the mists.
You silence Kalar. They'll find satisfaction in that.
Maybe this old cuss has a few fights left in him. You still have room in your ranks?
I do. Welcome to the Warband.
Awesome. So we've now got Fyon into our party, and the next one, I promise, is going to be live. So we'll talk to you guys soon.